Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Way That I Love You podcast. I am your host, Will Music, and today or this week, I will be holding it down by myself. Now, with that being said, I want y'all to keep my wife in your prayers. She is feeling under the weather this week, and hopefully she can rejoin us pretty soon and recover soon. And I ask that you all continue to pray for us as well. But you know how we do on the show. We like to give our global shout outs and our love for all of those who love on us and support us every week. So I just encourage you all to continue to tune in every week to the Way That I Love You podcast, and you can tune in wherever you podcast at. You can go to our website, thewaythatIloveyou.live, and get all the information there, what's popping, events, and what we're up to, shenanigans and all, y'all. So continue to support. We love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, follow, tell a friend, and also write a review. Now, without further ado, this is season 5. Episode 6 is called Computer Love, and it's about this dynamic couple, another phenomenal couple that we met, Lamar and Cheryl Riddick. Awesome, beautiful spirits, and they met online. So every online story and online dating doesn't have to end in disaster or being catfished, but there are some stories that are awesome. Now, they met online and then later on got married, but I'm not going to share their story. I'm going to let them do all the talking. So continue again to tune into the Way That I Love You podcast. I'm your host, Will Music, and after the show, I'll definitely see y'all next week.
So Lamar and Cheryl, tell us a little bit about yourself and, just the things that you would want us to know.
Okay. Well, my name is Lamar Riddick, and I'm a musician, work in, photography, voiceover, and I enjoy sports. Philadelphia Eagles, go Eagles.
Yes.
I don't know if it's my game sign or not, but
that word, some love.
It's like Eagles, E. Yeah. Like my game sign.
Oh, man.
And my wife is Cheryl.
So I'm Cheryl. I'm from Boston.
Okay.
Born and raised. I am not an Eagles fan. Patriots all the way. Yes, hate me now.
Well, I'm gonna look at you sideways.
We got a good rivalry going on. So.
Look, Cheryl.
So I moved to New Jersey. It'll be 6 years, the end of August, and I have 3 children, 3 adult children, and now 6 grandchildren. So
nice.
Yeah, and all my family is still in Boston. So I moved down here on my own. I work at Rowan University, and I'm a worship leader at Victory in Christ Christian Center. Also have a small group called Life After Divorce, and I'm also a co-director of the drama ministry.
Nice.
Great. So we're super happy to have you on, and we met this beautiful couple through a family member of ours at a picnic. And I'm gonna tell you how when you get together and you networking and you kind of fall in love. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say we fell in love with you both. Of your personality and all that you had to bring, and just we haven't known each other so long, but we've known each other enough for spirit to spirit.
Right.
Yes.
For spirit to spirit, and I love your spirit. I love what you both did, and and then when you told us your story, it was just like,
Oh, we love y'all too. Definitely connected. I said to him, I was like, babe, they're mad cool.
That's what we're trying to tell.
I think there's a connection there.
A connection, cousin.
There's a connection there.
Definitely a connection.
So, we know that you all been married for 6 years, and you met over the computer. So, give us a little feedback on that.
Okay, so we met on Facebook. I was at a conference in Florida, and when I got back from the conference, we ended up having a mutual friend. Well, he was more his friend than he was mine. I had just got to know him during the conference. And so when I got home, I befriended him, the friend. And the next day, I got an inbox message from him asking me how did I know his friend? And, you know, and was I a singer? And was I into music? Was I working on a project? And I'm like, actually, I do sing. I'm part of this group and so on and so forth. And he said, I just wanted to know, who this pretty lady was from Boston. And I almost did not accept his friend request because we only had 2 friends in common. And one of them I had just befriended. So I was like, he's skating real on thin ice. So I wasn't going to accept it because my rule was we need to have at least 5 friends in common. And we only had the 2 and the one I had just befriended. And so I was like, I'm going to keep my finger on the delete button just in case he's a weirdo.
So it's almost like, is this a scam or not?
Right. And so even though he said, I just want to know who this pretty lady was from Boston, I was like, whatever.
So Lamar, how many pictures did you have up on your screen? Because when you about to befriend someone, you kind of go to their page and you want to see how many pictures they had up to see if it's a scam or not.
To see what type of person they might be.
Now that the number of pictures I can't remember, but it started because I was the one that reached out to her.
Mm-hmm.
And this mutual friend of ours, he was at this gospel conference. So I was just reaching out to him just to give him a shout out, it's good hanging out with you, good seeing you, etc. And on his page, I saw her post that she was shouting out to him about the convention that he had attended maybe a week or 2 later. Mm-hmm. So I saw him at one convention. He left there and then attended another convention where she was at. So, like I said, I was just, shouting out to him when I saw her picture. That's what caught my my attention. So I was like, she's looking good and et cetera. So I just basically now we were talking about computer love. So I was just keeping it simple. I mean, I wanted to know who she was, but I didn't want to come off with a whole bunch of, I was just trying to keep it simple, basically.
Right. You were trying to keep it smooth.
Yeah.
Yes. and just, at that time, it involved, maturity, because prior to that, it was AOL and MySpace and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. So at that time, I mean, it was definitely, just being, I guess, mature, I should say. Just kept it simple. Gave a shout out to her, and but it was the picture, and I said, I want to know who this pretty lady is. So I reached out to her, and that's what started it.
Yes.
Okay, so
but yeah, I was close to deleting them, but go ahead.
So the first question we have is, how was your day one of computer love? Like, you already probably touched on it, Lamar, with you seen the picture, and you know what I mean. So is there anything you would like to elaborate on?
But I'm thinking of that day one when you finally like, all right, well, let's talk. How did that kind of come in? What made you move past the part when I seen this pretty lady and you seen him and like, okay, he's not a weirdo. let me go ahead and talk, because like I told you, him and I was bored. I was just like, okay, it's my birthday. I'm just going to see with his lead. How did you kind of come off from meeting someone online and like, all right, I'm gonna give him a shot day one?
He started, what he was doing was, I still was cautious because that's just me. And he would, every morning he started like, good morning, he would post on my page, good morning. And I'd say good morning. And then we kind of shifted from talking on the page to in the message. We moved to the message.
Taking it slow.
Yeah, we took it slow.
To the inbox.
Yeah, to the inbox. Yeah.
You still ain't get her number yet. You were still in the inbox situation.
You still in the inbox. Absolutely. And so, so we just started chatting there. And around that time, I had a sidekick. And so the phone sidekick didn't work well with the messenger. So we had to move from messenger to AOL AIM. So we was chatting right there until I upgraded and did better. But but yeah, so we started by chatting. And I was like, oh, he's pretty cool. You know, he seems like a nice guy.
So no red flags went up or anything. Go ahead, Lamar. You tell us.
And just what you was about to say, like no red flags, because again, I was just keeping it simple. You know, years before that, you know, just the I guess I don't know, being immature, not knowing. So like I said, at this point, it was like, you know, just, you know, be civilized.
right.
You know, keep it simple. You know.
I want to know, were you a little bit nervous, like because you're meeting someone online and you have these things that people say, like, you know, you're meeting this person online. Was there any like nervousness behind it? Just you thinking like, okay, like you want to take it slow, but you know, you're interested. How does that play? Because it's like a yin and yang type of situation.
Again, the way that I approached it was, you know, was just not to rush it, and just, I guess, kind of go from, you know, day to day, or talk about what happened in the day, and not throw a whole bunch of stuff out, or you know, just being, you know, not being overwhelmed, you know, with, you know, putting a lot of information or asking a lot of questions.
Right.
So I guess there was some I was nervous a little bit because I didn't know what, you know, if there would be like, you know, we got a difference in, I don't know, be it sports or whatever. You know, I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm just saying, I didn't know what would, you know, something come up
like
and
what to expect.
Yeah, so I didn't know if, you know, hey, I like apples, she like oranges. Is that going to, you know, we're not going to dig each other over something like that or whatever? Or, but again, for me, like I said, I like what I saw, and I was just keeping it simple, and just, you know, just take my time, and considering that it is, you know, online, you know, not to be, you know, wild and crazy and all of that, you know, and even thinking about it now, it's like, you know, I was pursuing it because I didn't want nothing to even taint this at all. Yeah.
Well, I watch a lot of crime scene show, crime, criminal, Law and Order, CSI. I'm all about that. So old girl was on the scene like, let me Google him. Let me look up. So before we even met in person, I knew who his mother was, who his sister was, where his address was.
She could have ran up on you if she
wanted
wanted
sure he
to.
didn't have no criminal record, nothing. I never told him. That I checked it, but I had all his information before.
Lamar, she could have ran up on you if she wanted to.
She had all the CSI Facebook.
Right, like before it even got deep, like before we even started investing in anything, I need to know if this is someone I even want to communicate with, right? So I was like, let me check him out. You know, let me check him out. So yes.
So we have a listener that wants to know who instigated the first date, initiated the first date, and where did you go and do? But that kind of ties into the next question. After the first computer love date, what drew you to continue the relationship? So you can answer that as a 2-part question. Okay.
All right. So for me, what drew me to continue and what really piqued my okay, let me find out, you know, because up until that point, it was just chatting, and he had me cracking up, you know, it was just chatting. We hadn't spoken over the phone or anything. And one night, my grandfather, he was in the hospital, and we got a message around 10 o'clock at night that they had rushed him into the OR to do emergency surgery. So I said, hey, you know, pray for my grandfather. They just rushed him into the OR. We don't know what's going on. He was already in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And I was up to 3 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm waiting to hear back and see how my grandfather was doing. And I get a message from him at 3 o'clock in the morning. Mm-mm. And I was like, he was like, how's your grandfather? I'm like, why are you still up? And he was like, I'm like, go to sleep. And he's like, I'll go to sleep when I know how your grandfather's doing. And I was like,
if you feeling like that, go like, brush your shoulders off.
Okay. I'm like, oh my goodness, why don't he want to stay up until it's 3:00 in the morning? No. This was chat. We weren't talking then.
Okay.
That was chat. And I was like, oh my goodness, he's staying up until my, okay, cool. So I was like, wow, that impressed me. I was like,
yes.
I don't know if at that point, if I would have been like, I would have been like, okay, praying, see you in the morning. Let me know how things work out. I don't know if I would have stayed up. And that really impressed me. I was like, oh, okay.
And there was, for me, I had went away, my family, we had just a family trip around the holiday. And for some reason, I told her about the trip, when we were going. And when we got there, we went out to Nevada. And for some reason, something was just in me that just thought she was going to be there. Because I had told her, the hotel and everything. But it was just like this strong feeling or whatever it was. And that was like the first sign that, this is meant to be, like, she's the one. Right.
So she came out to the place where you told her that.
No. And check it out. We were, chatting, talking on the phone, etc. But even though I told her like the day before, like right up to that day before, and we was on the plane and we went out there, somebody just told me she probably won't be here.
He was hoping that I was going to be there. That's why I took it.
So it was just something just on the
He
inside.
wanted to see me.
Yeah. So it was just, they just had this feeling, and that was like the first sign, that she's the one.
It was the feeling for you.
Yes.
It was the feeling. So forward to the listeners' question.
Oh.
Who initiated the first date and how did it go?
So he had a birthday in February, and this is the thing. This is totally out of my comfort zone. Like, I was never the one that when people talked about dating online and all that stuff, I was like, not for me. So this wasn't even something that I was interested in. And so after we had been talking for like 6 months, I was like, I gotta meet him, because I was starting to fall for him, and I hadn't even met him in person yet. So I was like, okay, let me. And so I just said, you know what? I'm jumping in my car. I'm driving down on a Saturday. I'm gonna do a 24-hour thing. Came down on a Saturday. I stayed at the hotel. He met me. We went out to dinner. Our first date was the Olive Garden.
And just a little thing about that was, once when she had entered into my world, and what I didn't say in the beginning in the introduction, I'm born and raised here in Jersey. Mm-hmm. So not to say that, I had a, good life and all that. But it
she came into your world.
Right. And I had been to this Olive Garden before many times. The service was kind of like, but we went there, and all of a sudden, man, it was like everything was like kicked up, like the guy Emerald, bam, like that.
Right. Oh.
Like the service was kicked up, and I told her, I said, they ain't never, since I've been coming
here. Cheryl, you did that.
Yeah.
Look, let me tell you. Yeah, so he's like, they ain't never been this nice to me. Look, she's all like,
right.
Oh, was this your first time here? Oh, you guys look amazing. Wow. Like, she was complimenting us and everything. And at that point, we weren't even officially dating. We were still in that feeling each other out.
Right.
But I had already started to fall for him, but I was keeping that on the L. Like, cause I was like, I felt like I was falling too quick for him. So I was like, slow your roll, girl. Slow your roll.
Right.
Slow your roll. Back that all the way. Back that all the way out.
Lamar, you was smooth. You had her.
And she was the magic with her.
Yeah. And I mean, it was just, again, I don't know, was that the time that you left, was it the?
That was the first time that I came down, and the first time I came down, and he was late, by the way. He got to the. we still talk about this to this day. I got to the hotel at 11 o'clock because I got on the road early, and he said, "Call me when you get there, and I'm gonna come." I'm waiting. An hour goes by, 2 hours go by. Like, hey, where you at? I'll be here shortly.
So when he was late, because you met online, did that kind of make you nervous? Like,
yeah, because I called my best friend and I was like, yo, he's not here yet. And if he don't show up, we're done. Like, ain't no second chances. Like, yeah, I was like, he don't show up, good. This clears everything up for me. So it is what it is. And so I'm like calling him like, you coming? He's like, yeah, I'm coming. And so he got there around like 3 o'clock or something. I was like, is there a problem? You know what I mean? Because I'm that chick. I don't take nobody at face value. So I'm going to investigate everything. I'm like, is there something wrong? Because maybe he's like, no, I told you that I was doing some things, and afterwards I said, that is not what you told me. I was ready.
Trouble on your first date.
He was about to be ex. He didn't even know it.
So you said you told your best friend. And so that brings to the question, who did you tell and how did you present it to both your family and your friends? Because when you're meeting online, everybody got something to say, and
something you don't really want to share with everybody.
Some things are good and some things are bad. It's like you don't know how to approach it to someone.
Yeah.
So how did you handle that meeting online and
sharing it with family and friends?
Yeah,
it was just casual. I told my mother, told my brothers, but it was just casual. It wasn't like family gathering or anything like that. So it was just like along the way.
Well, in the beginning, for me, as soon as he sent me the message, I was like, look at this dude. Look, you talking about? I just want to know who this pretty girl is in Boston, and then when she, when he started saying good morning to me every morning, I was like, look, he's saying good morning every day. How was your day? How was work? Da da da. I was like, oh, he's trying. So I was in constant communication with my best friend, and then as things moved further along, I started to bring other people in because, like I said, I didn't know where it was going or what was going to happen. Right. So there was no need to tell a whole bunch of people about, my new, online friend, because at the point that's where we were. But when things started to turn and get serious, I for me, accountability is important. And because I was falling so quickly for him, I needed other people in my corner to be like, pick the second set of discernment or eyes, or, if you see something I don't see, I need you to pull me real quick, So I started sharing with my other girlfriends, and I kind of delayed because, like I said, I have 3 adult children. I didn't tell them right away, Okay. They did know when I went to New Jersey, because I just wanted them to know I was going out of state, and I was going to meet the person. Well, maybe I did tell them, because I was like, I'm going to New Jersey. They were upset. Okay, that was like, because that was something. I was married before. I was married for 25 years, so that was something they had never seen. They was like, "Ma, you don't know nothing about him." I said, "Trust me, I checked him out." They're like, "Well, we don't know him." I said, "Well, other people I have, talked to him, talked about to him, and then I had him. I think they befriended him too." And so, we weren't playing no games.
Yeah,
just safety your numbers.
So you being married before for 25 years. So this is your second love, your second time go around, and when you have your first love, but your second
my first love.
Your first love, second go around. And so like I have people that this is their second marriages. How do you encourage someone, especially those that wasn't in the best marriage the first time, and being able to, you really let your guard down, to meet online, to open up your heart, to find love, and to be open, that's a lot. So how do you encourage other individuals to say, you know what, I feel like it was a big leap. There was a big faith leap.
It absolutely was. I literally took a risk. I was in a bad marriage. Everything from adultery, drugs and alcohol to verbal, sometimes physical abuse. Like it was, you name it, it was there. And but the one thing I determined while I was still in that marriage, that I was not going to let you. I love the institution of marriage, so I was not going to let him rob me of that. And I knew that marriage was for me. And so, you know, in the marriage, I believe that, you know, God took me, my faith, and God took me through that process of healing while I was still in it. And so, you know, of course, when I came out of it, he was a really big part of my healing, which was a surprise to me. But I really literally had to, one, forgive my ex, because there was no way I was moving on unless I forgave him. Forgive him. And just really, I spent a lot of time praying about him and, you know, asking God, who is this guy? But also, again, I had other people around me saying, you know, he seems like a good guy. Any red flags? I was trying to, there was a couple of times because I was getting afraid. You know, there was one time I was like, oh, you know, this is, I want to end this. You know, I wrote him a Dear John letter. And I was having a moment because I was scared of how I was afraid of how quickly I was falling for him. And two, I was afraid because I had never felt love like that before. Right. You know, I had never had a man care for me. And even though we were in the same state, he was still being he cared, you know, mindful of me all the time and very attentive, you know, if you want to, you know, if that sounds strange to you, but he was. And that scared me because I had never had that. So I wrote him the letter one day and I was like, yeah, I think we just, you know, move on, have a nice life. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm cleaning my room. He was like, no, what are you doing? I was like, I'm cleaning my room. He goes, no, what are you doing? I was like, and so he was like, I'm not letting you go that easy, you know. So yeah,
that's what's up.
And just to add a little something to that also, prior to meeting her, reaching out to her on Facebook, I had befriended a young lady through it was like, I guess, the Florida State University, their marching band. And there was this write up about their director. So I had contact, like whoever the contact person was. She just happened to be, I guess, somebody that was involved with that marching band. So I reached out to her and was asking her about, you know, the band director. Had no idea that was a friend of hers.
She actually was his saving grace, because I was like,
and that was some months before me.
Yeah, because I was like, Tasha's no joke. That was my friend that he had in common. I was like, she's no joke. So if she's friends with him, that's what helped him. Is, like I said, because I really didn't know the other person because I just befriended them really. But I was like, oh, you're friends with? Okay, we gonna see how this goes.
Right.
But that was beautiful. Go ahead.
And for me, there were no connections in Boston, no family, no friends for me. So it was just it was Tasha, my involvement with broadcasting. She sings in a choir, the Free to Battle and the Temple Worshipers. So I knew about that choir, but I didn't know Cheryl was in it. That's going back, man. That was 10 years prior to us meeting. So here was like these little connections, people that we had in common. You know, these connections that we had in common.
We didn't know.
You know, that was like a setup like right there.
Wow, so that's how God do. How when He sees something that's destined, and He draw you to each other. That's why we need other people.
Yeah,
it's important to link up with other people and draw from other people, because we find our destiny through other people. You know, we can't do life and prayer. We can't, because we can't do life alone. That's how He works. He works through His people and connect us together, and we find true love. You know, we find our in my phone, he's called Love of My Life in my phone. And although we both had relationships, like you said, I've never had a love like this. Ever. I never feel it's different.
It definitely is. Yeah,
a different kind of love that and I was talking to my sister and she was like she kind of brought it out of me and we were saying it's secure. A secure love.
Yeah.
That don't really need to be explained because you can't explain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's on a level that this is like I said, it's this. You don't have any words for it.
Right, exactly. And that's what it was for me. Like a lot of times he would blow my mind with things. And like I said, because I had an experience, like I remember one time, because I like to drive. And every time, I think maybe one time he was like, you're flying. I was like, I don't want to fly. But I like to drive. So I like to drive. And so it was wintertime. And, I'm from Boston. We drive in snow 12 inches, nothing. That's like an inch of snow in New Jersey. And it was going to snow. And he was like, I don't want you to come. And so I automatically was like, what you mean you don't want me to come? And so he was like, it's talking about snow. And I said, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. He's like, look, I want you to, don't come. I want you, just be careful. And he's like, no, I just don't come. And I was like, what's going on? Why, And I was like, I know how to drive. And he was like, it's not about you know how to drive. I said, well, I drive in snow all the time. What's the problem? It's not a problem. And he was like, and so it started to turn a little bit into an argument. And he's like, look, I'm not going to fight you to protect you. And I was like, what? I said, fight me to what? He's like, I'm not going to fight you to protect you. And for me, I felt like he was trying to control me and tell me what to do. I'm like, I got this. I've been driving since I was
right.
And so, but when he said that, it stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, you're trying to protect me? And it was like I said, one of those healing moments where I had never had anyone protect me. I grew up without my dad. So there was no male in my life that ever protected me. So to hear him say that, I was like.
So is that a part of the part? Because the next is it when you knew that he or she was the one? Is that was that something? Like when someone say something to you, like, this is the one?
Yeah, was that a factor in saying this, he the one or she the one? For me, I'm trying to think of which visit it was, but
the first one.
Well, no, because this was something that happened where she came down, and it had been like during the summer, but came down for the weekend, and on her way back when she left, I was really torn. I was really feeling like I don't want her to go. That's when that was like the final click. That was right. Like I said, there were other signs, and I had called her maybe 30 minutes after she left. And I told her, I said, I'm really feeling something like, like you shouldn't be leaving, and it was a real strong pull.
Yeah,
wow. It was a real strong pull.
And he didn't know, but I was on the road driving back, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel so sad. I was like, I don't want to go. I'm talking to my best friend. I'm not, and I'm like, I need to get it together, but everything just kind of just like, and we dated for 5 years, long distance, and everything was, either Facebook or, and the funny thing was we rarely FaceTime, it was more just talking on the phone and stuff like that, or what we saw, each other on Facebook.
That was a little bit more technology. You probably would have FaceTime. I really wasn't. I was just familiar with the text, chatting. Right. But like I said, I don't even think. Did I have it on my phone? Or?
You did. Mm-hmm. You didn't like holding the phone up. Like, okay.
Right.
So y'all say y'all dated for 5 years.
Yes.
That's a good amount of time to get to know each other. Like y'all really dug in deep.
Right.
And being long distance,
Right. And she and at no time when she came down, there wasn't nothing about, who's just over here talking or wasn't, I was at my maturity. I had reached a level of maturity where it was, don't do that. Right. Just, who I'm with is who I'm with. So, like I said, it wasn't anything, or, we're together and someone running up, another woman running up on us like, well, you were just with me last week. It was, keep that, this lesson or sharing an encouraging word, Just keep it simple. Don't do that. Don't do that.
There was a couple people I had to check, but anyways. Let's make it clear.
Ain't nobody approach.
No, they didn't approach, but they was, well, how you doing? Every time, because he worked the sound booth in the church, and this one chick was always talking about, he had put this post up about who would you take out to dinner, and she gonna walk up to him talking about, so who would you take out? I was like, oh, and he could be naive when it comes to that sometimes. So, oh, she wanted, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna introduce you to the next time you come down. Girl, I came down, she came nowhere near him. I said, what's the problem? Why she over here all the time? Why she ain't coming now? Why she ain't coming now? Why she sitting over there looking at me? And I told him, I said, you watch. As soon as I leave, homegirl will be back over here on Wednesday. Sure enough, hey babe, where's she at? Did she come? Yep. I said, okay. All right.
Sure, listen.
All right.
I tell my sister-in-law because he had anointing hands and he played the keyboard, and all of the mothers in the church would be like, oh, his hands is so gifted hands. So when I would be able to get ready to get up, you have dinner at, for the second service. I told my sister, I said, watch my man. Because all of these mothers in here with all his anointed hands, watch when I get up. Y'all better watch. Because one of these older ladies might have him and ain't nothing I can do about it.
Exactly.
With his anointed. He played the keyboard. Oh, his hands are so annoying.
So I might help herself.
So,
but anyway.
So how would you encourage other individuals? One, for the second go round of finding true love. Mm-hmm. Two, meeting online and kind of letting your guard down and letting God do the work. And Lamar, you talked about maturity level. How would you kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? How would you usher that into somebody else's life? That, that's kind of like, I don't want to meet online. There's a lot of people that want to meet online. Like
shying away
but
from
bring
it.
That maturity level and kind of having that second go round and love it, like all together. Because there's a lot that you both overcome.
Mm-hmm. You go first.
Well, she was asking you, babe.
Okay. Well, if someone's saying that, they don't want to, meet online or, they're kind of skeptical about it. That's what really works. I mean, I can go back to, the early stages of AOL and all of that. And if you're trying to run game, play game, it's still the same in life and online. It's going to get messy either way. Mm-hmm. So if you're skeptical, someone that's skeptical about online dating, is basically just keep it simple and don't, if you're dating somebody, date just that one person, be direct, and still keep communication in the forefront, whether it's real life or online. And what I mean by communication is if they are the type of person that maybe they're dating multiple people, want to have a, open, relationship, say that, and definitely know if you're, I guess, if they have trust issues themselves, because if it's long distance and their trust issues is they're always thinking that this person is seeing somebody while they're out of sight, then it's best not, don't go down that road. Be honest, like as I was saying earlier, there was no issues. There wasn't anyone else that I was seeing. So, and I kept it that way. When she came here, there wasn't, like I said, there wasn't no other woman running up saying, oh, you was just with me last week. There was none of it. I was seeing Cheryl. So, so this is, again, for me, going back to, trying to run game on AOL or whatever the case of it is. When you do stuff like that, stuff gets messy. When I first prayed to God about sending someone, he sent me Cheryl. Amen. And it was just, I was just at a level of, I'm gonna respect this. I'm gonna respect myself, and just be true to her, be honest with her. And that's what I, just to, keep it short, just to encourage others. Like I said, just be honest, and just know about yourself if you're a trusting person, because the long distance, people want to, you hear it and you're out of sight, you're doing something else. That's not going to work.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I, just like he said, he prayed. After I got, after my divorce, I remember driving to work one day and I said, clearly, Lord, I don't know what's best for me, so send me your best. And that was as simple as the prayer as it was. I don't know what's best for me, so send me your best. And the next thing you know, like a couple of months later, he was, sending me a message. I would say, like I said, the whole online scene wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? So this all was like a, I don't want to say fluke, but it just happened that way. But also I would say, because I do have friends who have dated people online, they've been, what they call it, catfish. They've been catfished. They've been talking to men that was married. Investigate. My friends always laugh at me because they were like, Cheryl, you gonna find out. And as a matter of fact, when they start talking to somebody, they're like, Cheryl, check them out for me. Don't play games with that. Especially if you're in the games, okay, then that's your game. But I knew what I wanted, and I knew that I wanted to get married someday. So I was upfront with that. When we started talking, I was like, this is, God bless you, baby. I said, I'm not trying to date just to date. Like, this is marriage for me. And if you're not it, then so be it. You know what I mean? Don't be desperate, and like I said, and be careful with taking people at face value online, because they can sell you a good story and tell you all that, but investigate, meet them, and check out the scenery. Like, I was surprised the first time I came down to meet him. I was not expecting to go to his church, and I was not expecting to meet his mother. I was like, what? I was, totally, but he immediately brought me into the same environment where everybody knew him. You know what I mean? So everybody was like, hey, he introduced me to a lot of people. And so you got someone hiding, you got someone being, they're not consistent. And that's the one thing I can say about him. He was consistent. Like, there was not one day that he did not, reach out to me, and so his consistency was the thing for me. And also it helped build trust,
Definitely
definitely built trust.
Yeah. So now since everything, how has life been for you both together now? And
it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm the one. It's basically I got a story, I want to share, but I know I got to keep it short. But her, this is her second marriage, but this is my first. So for me, being single, like, it's definitely a page turner. When I was younger, I was talking marriage and all that stuff, and then as I got older, got in my teens and things like that, and and just life was just happening. It kind of went to the back of my mind.
Right.
So meeting Cheryl, and it was like literally when we stepped into each other's world, when our worlds came together, stuff just started happening. And it's like a new chapter. I would say that I was surprised that we went from dating, we dated for 5 years. We went from dating and then we ended up getting married. And it was just stuff for me that just happened that I didn't think that was going to happen. So it's definitely been amazing. It's been heaven. Yeah.
I love you. But yeah, it's there's some days that, and even though we've been married now, we'll be 6 years in September. There's some days, how when you first start dating and you fall in love and you get that warm, like, woo, I still get that with him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
6 years later, I still stop and pause for a moment. I have tears in my eyes, like, babe, I love you so much. Like, I just thank God for you. Like, he knew exactly what I needed. You know what I mean? Right. And and so it's been really, we've had our challenges because although we were dating online, let's keep it 100. We were dating online, and so sometimes we saw each other. We would see each other either every month or every 2 to 3 months sometimes. And so although we were building, we didn't have that, I never lived with him until we got married. So it was getting adjusted to how his style, my style. We had a couple of clashes, but we worked through it. And we were committed. We definitely were committed. So yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Wow. There you have it, folks. Another phenomenal story from a great couple. Lamar, Cheryl, Riddick, we love you. Thank you for joining the show and sharing your story. I believe in God that it's going to touch and inspire everyone out there, whether you're single, married, or engaged. I believe this story is going to touch the hearts of many. And with that being said, we always love you here at the Way That I Love You podcast, and we see y'all next week.